And welcome to the 3rd Council District. We are here today because this is the place where opportunity lives. I'd like to acknowledge some of the stakeholders that have contributed daily to helping me build better neighborhoods here in the 3rd Council District. I see representatives here from Wilmington Senior Center, also Mr. Jan Dennis, who is the president of our Vandiver Avenue Civic Association, and Pastor Thomas Weeks, who is the president and CEO of New Destiny Community Development Corporation and responsible for allowing us to be here at the old Wiley Cork factory site here today. The city of Wilmington is at an inflection point, and the need for human capital investment for workforce and economic competitiveness is critical. By creating pathways out of poverty through education and employment, we are changing the life trajectory of citizens residing here in the 3rd District, residing here in underserved and distressed neighborhoods. As I oftentimes say, as the 3rd District goes, so goes the city of Wilmington. The fact of the matter is better skills, better pay. Putting the city to work, we are taking a comprehensive approach to job creation and economic stability, providing a pathway out of poverty for city residents via job creation, leveraging private partnerships, public-private partnerships and collaborations to create a labor force of Wilmingtonians for the emerging career sectors in our economy. Matching workforce and industry trends in the city with state and federal workforce development policies and programs, and creating the new jobs that we need here in the city of Wilmington. The outcome of this work is just that: work, jobs, employment, and careers. We are creating working neighborhoods in the city of Wilmington. The EPA has supported previously brownfield environmental justice community efforts here in this area, to include the former Diamond State Salvage Yard and here at the old Wiley Cork factory. We began exploring other potential federal opportunities with the EPA 2 years ago. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank DNREC and the Delaware Technical and Community College for sticking with me over these 2 years as we worked on this project. I'd also, and also helping to build our Brownfield community team, to include one of our own small businesses here in the 3rd District, Brightfields Environmental Services, and we could not have done this without the strong support of our community agency partner, West End Neighborhood House. Brownfield initiatives demonstrate how environmental protection and economic development work hand in hand. Opportunity indeed does live here, and to announce a new opportunity for upward mobility and for Wilmington residents, I'd like to welcome to the 3rd District the EPA Region 3 District Administrator, Shawn Garvin.
Thank you, Councilman. It is a distinct pleasure to be here, but particularly joining you. I have known Darius for many, many, many years. We did not work together, but we had similar bosses across time, and so it really is a pleasure to be in your district, and I thank you for all your great leadership. I live not too far out of your district, so all of your good work here really benefits my family and my community, so thank you very much. I also want to recognize my good friend who I will introduce in a minute, Marjorie Crofts, for all her great leadership at the Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control. Paul Morris, Vice President at Del Tech. We have a lot of interaction and a lot of partnership with Del Tech, not only here, but we also do wastewater training, and they run a really great program. Paul Calistro, the West End Neighborhood House is just an amazing organization, amazing group, and it's great to join you here, as well as Dr. Kenyetta McCurdy-Bird, who will end up being the project director for the exciting announcement that I'm here to make. And on behalf of EPA, I am here to announce that we have selected the West End Neighborhood House for an environmental workforce development and job training grant in the amount of $192,300. That makes West End Neighborhood House one of 19 such grantees nationally this year. And the total grant amount that we are providing nationally is $3.6 million in investment in our workforce development for a sustainable future. Environmental workforce development and job training grants are provided to nonprofit organizations and other eligible entities to train and place predominantly low-income and minority residents from communities impacted by hazardous pollution into good jobs. These grants are an important part of EPA's Brownfields program to empower communities working together in assessing, safely cleaning up, and sustainably redeveloping properties to promote local economic development, jobs growth, and better quality of life. This also helps support Administrator McCarthy's focus on making visible differences in our communities. Graduates from this program will be placed in full-time jobs including wastewater and water plant operations, environmental technicians conducting field sampling, lead renovation, and asbestos removal, which will benefit Wilmington, its residents, and our environment. We have all seen the damage contaminated, abandoned, and blighted properties do to a community. These properties can stigmatize, rendering redevelopment at best challenging and at worst nearly impossible. These impediments to development deprive communities of job opportunities, and without access to opportunities, communities, even those with the deepest historic roots, can sometimes lose hope. Oftentimes we see residents of Brownfields communities bearing the brunt of the impacts of disinvestment, including lack of access to healthy food, exposure to lead paint, higher crime rates, just to name a few. But the job training grants provided by EPA are designed to help turn the cycle around by changing the way we address former industrial properties. Since its inception in 1995, EPA's Brownfield program has worked closely with states, tribes, and other federal agencies to provide communities like Wilmington with tools that link environmental protection and public health with economic development and community revitalization. Those include 2 previously awarded assessment grants and 1 cleanup grant, totaling $800,000 to help revitalize brownfields here in Wilmington. Nationally, since 1995, Brownfields program investments have leveraged more than $22 billion, that's billion with a B, from a variety of public and private sources for cleanup and redevelopment activities, an average of nearly $18 for every EPA Brownfields dollar invested, and generating more than 100,000 jobs. And every reused Brownfields acre has been shown to preserve 4.5 acres of green space. By bringing jobs back to Brownfields communities where the workforce and infrastructure already are in place, we're also reducing energy consumption and reducing emissions of greenhouse gases that are contributing to climate change, helping to support President Obama's Climate Action Plan. EPA's job training program seeks to ensure that local residents have the opportunity to reap some of the economic benefits from brownfields redevelopment. Rather than outsourcing redevelopment jobs outside the community, the Environmental Workforce Development and Job Training Program helps local residents take advantage of jobs created by assessing and cleaning up brownfield sites right here in our own communities. And this program provides communities with the flexibility to customize the training curriculum to match the community's real hiring needs. Since 1998, EPA has funded 256 job training grants exceeding $54 million, with more than 13,000 individuals having completed the training. More than 10,000 have secured employment in the environmental field with an average starting wage of more than $14 an hour. Now that's a placement rate of 72%, and being a big baseball fan, I know that I would take that batting average any day of the week. Now I had the opportunity last month to go to a job training program grant graduation ceremony in Philadelphia. And I just have to share with you personally how moving it was to me. The look on the faces, the pride that those trainee graduates carried with them, and it was about, the average age was between maybe 25 and 55. The pride they had, the pride on the faces of their families, the energy in knowing that not only have they gone through to better themselves, but also better their families, and the work that they're going to do is benefit their communities, was just an amazing experience, and I look forward to the same here in Wilmington. It's a testament to the power of partnerships. In addition to the strong partnership that West End Neighborhood House has with DNREC and Del Tech, newly forged partnerships with local employers such as Artesian, Brownfields, and Tidewater will assist in ensuring the success of this program. Now, I'm confident that these relationships will help support Wilmington's vision for Brownfields redevelopment. Now, we look forward to working with West End Neighborhood House, the City of Wilmington, Del Tech, the State of Delaware, and other partners in continued collaboration to maximizing the successful utilization of all of our resources in this effort. And I could not talk about the resources that we're providing through EPA and the federal government without recognizing our congressional delegation. I think we have Matt Marshall here from Senator Carper's office, Mike McGowan from Senator Coon's office. I didn't see somebody from Congressman Carney's office, but I can tell you what a great supporter the congressman is as well. We don't have these funds, we're not able to do these programs without the leadership of our senators and our congressmen, and so I just wanted to recognize and thank them for not only being here, but the constant support that we have for this Brownfields program, as well as other environmental initiatives throughout not only our great state of Delaware, but the country. I want to congratulate the West End Neighborhood House for receiving this more than $192,000 grant for the work you do to better our communities and the services you provide to our citizens. I look forward to seeing your success in bringing new life and revitalization to Wilmington. Thank you. Now with that, I have the distinct honor and pleasure of introducing Marjorie Crofts. Marjorie has been a stalwart in focusing on cleaning up our sites here in Wilmington and throughout the state of Delaware. She has been a national leader on initiatives to address contamination to our land, and a lot of the things, we have Diamond State Salvage that the councilman mentioned in Wiley Court. Those would not have been able to be accomplished without the leadership of Marjorie, her staff, Secretary Small, and all of DNREC. So with that, I introduce my friend, Marjorie Crofts.
Shawn's so nice to me because we got to know each other very well when we had to work together to close down and clean up the Standard Chlorine site, a Superfund site down near Delaware City that they just literally closed the doors one day and walked away. So unfortunately that's really under control, and through Shawn's leadership we've been able to get that very well addressed now. But it's great to be here today representing Secretary Small in the department and my great staff. I've got with me today Tim Ratsip, who runs the Brownfields Superfund program, and also Jim Pauling, who's our Brownfields coordinator. They worked, especially Jim, very closely with Councilman Brown, with Del Tech, and with the West End Neighborhood House to make sure that a good grant application got together and had all the right people involved. I'm especially pleased to be here at one of our Brownfield sites. Since Delaware got its Brownfields program going, we've addressed 230 sites, or gotten 230 sites certified. At this point, 50% of those are fully redeveloped and back into productive use. We've currently got more than 80 under investigation. These sites a lot of them are in Wilmington because of its long history of industrialization, but they're all around the state. And we are very pleased to enter this new phase. Well, it's not necessarily a new phase for us, but getting another Brownfields job training grant here in Delaware. it does enable people who live in this neighborhood, live in this area, to be able to get a living wage job and be able to go on and further help the economic revitalization of these areas. Delaware has worked with Del Tech before and gotten 2 other job training grants and has been very successful. 350 students took at least 1 course, and 180 of those completed the full program, and 177 that we know of found jobs by the end of their plan. We only tracked the people for 1 year, and as Jim tells me, some of them got their asbestos certification, didn't do any other part of the program, and got a job. So it's not, it's good for they get the whole program, but it's also good that some of them can find work with just even a little bit of training. And Jim really was the principal of getting these 2 grants to Delaware before and working with Del Tech to make them so successful. And he also worked very closely with Paul at the West End Neighborhood House. He helped with writing the grant application. He also worked with Kathy Stiller of Brownfields over here to do what they called a market analysis. What kind of jobs did the people who would hire the graduate of this need? What kind of certifications did these people need? And that's where they came up. So they also got the potential employers to sign on saying, you get people through this program and we'll get them jobs, we'll help get them jobs. And they came up with the 2 tracks that are going to be under this program: environmental remediation and wastewater operators. Jim also spent a lot of time with Bobby Britton, who I haven't met, but I'm hoping he's here today, just going out to the Civic Association meetings and getting the community excited and involved to come up and want to see this grant program in their area. So I am personally very pleased at our ability to help the Neighborhood House put together such a good application that EPA said this is one of the best in the country and we want to fund it. And again, Shawn, thank you very much for seeing this award here. We have always enjoyed a very good working relationship with EPA, and seeing that we've gotten 3 grants in Delaware, we can see that that's a wonderful thing. And again, thank Del Tech, Paul Morris. We've worked with them on many different things, also in our tanks program to do training there. It's been a wonderful working relationship. We like to see Brownfields done. It's a catalyst to get communities revitalized, even just getting eyesores out of the way and knowing that people can go out and be on properties without having to worry about being contacted with contamination. It's just a wonderful thing. It's a win-win for Denrick, it's a win-win for Wilmington, it's a win-win for the state. So I'm very pleased on this, and with that, I'd like to invite Paul Morris, the Assistant Vice President for Workforce Development and Community Education from Del Tech.
Thank you, Marjorie. I learned in the last few years, if the farther you sit away from the podium, the fewer remarks you make, so I'll make this quick. I have the pleasure to represent and bring remarks on behalf of our president, Dr. Mark Brainerd. I also want to acknowledge Tom McCarthy. Tom is our department chair overseeing technical training at our Innovation and Technology Center, and Tom has been the lead for us on this project, and he'll continue to be the lead, so thank you, Tom. I'd like to start by thanking Mayor Williams, City Council President Theo Gregory, and Councilman Darius Brown for their ongoing efforts and commitment in creating opportunities for city residents to obtain employable skills to earn a sustainable, livable wage. To quote Delaware Tech President Dr. Mark Brainerd, a key part to any community revitalization is an educated and trained workforce. Delaware Tech is very committed to this work, which is evidenced by a couple things. First, the ongoing enhancements that we have made to our George campus, which is located on 4th Street in the heart of the city. Second, the dedication to our mission of supporting economic and workforce development by creating ongoing opportunities for individuals and by building strong relationships within the Delaware workforce. Our reputation within the business and industrial community for training and graduating technicians that are ready to work, have hands-on experience with state-of-the-art equipment, and are capable of adding value will support the overarching goals and objectives of this EPA grant we are talking about today. The success of this initiative will be enhanced by the strong day-to-day relationships that Delaware Tech already has with our strategic partners. We will work together and will support each other to create positive participant outcomes. In closing, we are excited about this partnership and look forward to working within the collaboration to enhance the lives of the participants. To the EPA and our strategic partners, Delaware Tech is ready to get started. to prospective trainees. We look forward to enrolling you in this training and helping you get started in a promising and rewarding career in environmental work. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Paul Calistro, Executive Director for the West End Neighborhood House.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Paul. One of 19 in the country. We should feel proud. There were thousands of communities that qualified for this grant, yet we were one of 19. It's no mistake that we're one of 19, not when you can put a team together of private, public, and not-for-profit organizations together. I'd first of all like to thank the employers. You know, every day I have hundreds of people come into our organization looking for employment. And unfortunately, the majority of jobs being created today pay less than $10 an hour, and it's very difficult for families to support themselves. This is a step forward and a step up for many of those folks who are just seeking an opportunity. With this grant, we will allow 70 individuals to receive training, become certified, and in as little as 6 months, be gainfully employed. That is what we're looking for in Delaware. I often hear folks talk about how are we going to create jobs. We not only have to create jobs, we need to help our workforce be ready for jobs that are available. And I really would like to point out the 4 trucks that are here, Brownfields, Environmental Alliance, Artesian, and Tidewater. They've already made the commitment that says, if you can find the folks, if you can train the folks, we'll hire the folks. That's jobs. I'd like to thank Councilman Darius Brown. You know, he just would not let this go. He said, this is not only going to happen in Wilmington, this is going to happen in my community. So thank you, Darius, for just being a pit bull for our people. Another reason this happens, why do grants like this come to Delaware? Because it's gentlemen like Jim Poling. Jim Poling works for DENREC, has nothing to do with this. This is not what he does. But he called and he said, you know, there's this opportunity. We can be competitive. We're going to go against hundreds of other cities. I'm willing to spend weekends and nights to help create this. And he was really the captain of this team. So Jim, thank you for giving up your weekends and nights. Along with Wes Davis and Dr. Bird, and more importantly, Tom McCarthy from DENREC. From Deltec. I apologize, from Deltec. He's put together the curriculum based on what the employer said they need to have people trained. So how's this going to work? People can contact West End. They can call us at 658-4171. Basically, they will come in, do an application. It will be first come, first serve for those who qualify. And in as little as 6 months, you can complete your training and go to work. So I want to thank all of you for attending today, and most especially I'd like to thank the EPA for making this opportunity to reinvest funds back into the community that have suffered from Brownfields. And thank you all for attending today. Go ahead, Darius, do you want to?
Thank you all for coming. There are a few more 3rd District partners I want to recognize that are here. The Challenge program is here. If you would raise your hand. Elwyn, Delaware is here. Kendra is here. So all of these partners, our federal probation and parole office is here. Saad is here. Mr. Dennis is here from Vanderbilt Avenue Civic Association and our 3rd District Planning Council. The Elks Lodge is here. And so all of these are partners in the 3rd District. Northeast Civic Association is here, Matt is here. And so all of these are partners within the 3rd District that are ready to do outreach into our communities to make sure that we get the people that we need engaged and involved and enrolled into this program. Thank you all for coming. Let's get to work.